good, y'all? Welcome to my first impressions for Peacemaker Season 2. I know I'm a little bit tardy with this review, man. The episode dropped on Thursday. I'm not reviewing until Saturday and, near the end of the day, too. So basically, I was busy throughout Thursday and Friday editing the boys' reaction, or Gen V reaction clips on Friday, man. That took a little bit longer. Of course, also watching Sakamoto Days and getting that and wrapping up Season 1 of that. Thursday, it was finishing up Kaiju number 8 reaction clips, then of course watching Gen V because I had to watch the episode on Thursday, so that I can spend all of Friday just editing the reactions. What I've been doing for the boys and Invincible. That's how I kind of, because those episodes are obviously a lot longer than the standard 23-minute long anime episode as well. So that's just to help alleviate with that one, just so I can spend more time editing and whatnot, man. So yeah, that's why that's why I wasn't able to watch on Thursday. I wanted to, but I just couldn't get around. But by the time I finished up Gen V, it was like 2 in the morning or like close to 2 a.m. I'm like, yeah, I'm not. Another day. Friday, I basically spent the entire day editing, we'll just spent the entire day editing. And then Saturday, literally was gonna watch this episode like around noon and be like, all right, can watch the episode around noon, finish up the episode, and make up my reaction, probably get this down, and get this review up by like 5 o'clock. Well then, my parents decided they wanted to go to the storage unit to grab some shit, to get some more of the stuff out there, man, so we spent a good chunk of the day doing that. So yeah. And then finally got back, by the time we got back, it was like 5 o'clock, and then finally, I had the time to sit down and actually watch the episode. But yeah, man. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, man, let's just join in, because overall, man, this was a fantastic episode. So the show stars, of course, John Cena. I'm not doing the joke anymore. I think I've ran its course doing the John Cena meme over the course of these videos, man. We're not doing it anymore. The John Cena meme has died on this channel, and yeah, so we're not doing it anymore. Yeah, John Cena, Jennifer Holland, Freddie Stroma, if I'm pronouncing it right, Daniele, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Brooks, Robert Pattinson, and many more. And the plot of Peacemaker Season 2, which for this, I'm just going to read up the synopsis on IMDb for the first episode, because Google still uses the Season 1 synopsis. But basically, Peacemaker interviews for a spot in the Justice Gang, while Harcourt struggles to find work on the heels of Adebayo's bombshell press conference. The Economist is forced to survey Peacemaker under Rick Flag Sr.'s new management. So first up, man, once again, the cast is great, man. Obviously, John is great, man. You guys know how much I love John Cena. Right, been a fan of him since, he was his days the wrestler, man, 2010, man. You guys know how much I love John Cena, man. And honestly, now, obviously, I've not seen all of John's movies and whatnot. Like, I know there's this one that came on Prime recently with him and Idris Elba that I really want to watch because it looks really good. I haven't watched everything that John's been in, but obviously, you guys know I am very well versed in his wrestling career, man. And I have to say, man, talking about what I've seen of him, obviously acting-wise, in both films and, of course, his time in the WWE, including his most recent current run as a heel, this may be the best work of. This might be the best act. This might be John's best performance. Like, he is truly spectacular in this film, man, and it's truly something special, man. Like, I was really shocked by how good he is, man, during the emotional sequences, man, that we see later on in this episode, man. John is great. Like, he was also great in Peacemaker Season 1, but you can really tell just how much more he has grown as an actor since Peacemaker Season 1 back in 2022, which is kind of crazy. It's been that long since the first season. But, yeah, man, he's incredible, man, and this is, like I said, this is easily the best work. Along with his current stuff in WWE and his final run, man, I know a lot of people have been kind of like, we're disappointed with his heel run, man, and saying, I wouldn't say it's as terrible. Like, a lot of people saying, like, it was terrible, it was this and the third. I wouldn't go that far. I think I still thought his heel run was great, man. There were tons of amazing moments during it, man. Was it as great as it probably could have been? No. But I still thoroughly love the heel run, man. And I loved him, especially when he was feuding with Punk, man. That was easily the best. That was easily the peak of his heel run, man. I love John Cena, man. I am biased when I say it because you guys know how much I love John, and he's like my favorite wrestler and whatnot. But, I don't know. I really like this heel run, man. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, he was great, man. He was great. He was great in this show, man. But yeah, this is like some of his best work that I've ever seen, acting or wrestling otherwise, man. He was absolutely spectacular. The rest of the cast is great. Jennifer Holland is great, man. Robert Patrick great a couple times we've seen him in this season, man. And the rest of the cast is great as well. Of course, you also got Rick Flag Sr. in there, played by Frank Grillo, if I'm pronouncing his name right, man. Who we also saw in Superman. Of course, obviously, he made his debut in Creature Commandos. But yeah, man, he was great, man. He was great. Like, we don't see much of him, man. And you guys already know my opinions about Rick Flag Sr. I want the real Rick Flag. I want Rick Flag Jr. to be brought back from the dead. And I wish he should have survived, man, because I loved him in Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad. I wish he got to stick around and all that shit, man. But oh well, he's dead, and we're now stuck with his dad, man, which is unfortunate. But he's great, man. We obviously don't see he doesn't get much in this role, but obviously, from what we see of him in this show, man, what we're gonna see is characterization. Obviously, the dude's out for revenge because Peacemaker killed his son in the Suicide Squad. He's got Redbeard, stalking him, surveilling him, waiting for him to fuck up just so he can lock him up there or kill him or whatever the hell he wants to do to Peacemaker, man. But yeah, he was great, man. And obviously, now there's obviously the big one that a lot of people mentioned about him having, in Creature Commandos, he had the all gray hair, but yet in both of this and Superman, his hair is fully black. He explained that, during this whole thing going on there, he was, filming something else, that's why his hair was black. And apparently, next time we see him after these two projects, he will have the full gray hair. We'll actually have, continuity between this and Creature Commandos. Which I do wonder if they're going to mention Creature Commandos, since it seems like that Rick Flag Sr. is going to have a major role in this series. If we're ever going to see any cameos of Creature Commandos this show, man, are we going to even see some mention of the Creature Commandos in this show, man? I'm not holding my breath on it. It seems to be pretty self-contained with just Peacemaker. Maybe we'll get a Superman cameo because Peacemaker was in Superman. We don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if that initial cameo appearance of the Justice Gang we see in episode 1. So probably the only one we're going to see of the larger DCU and any of the other characters that we already know that exist in this world. But I don't think we're going to be seeing anyone else. But I could be wrong, and James Gunn might hit us with a surprise cameo in the final episode or similar time during the season. But yeah, so now we got the part out of the ways. One thing I want to talk about, man, that I thought was interesting is where the characters are at in the current times of the series, man. Now, obviously, Peacemaker, he's still, he is still kind of not really sad for his life. We see him try, as we saw in the trailers, we see him trying to join the Justice Gang, man, which, like I said, John's performance there was incredible. But that whole sequence, man, where where they're doing these interviews and they're trying to interview and to gain new members of the Justice Gang, and literally none of them are paying attention to while Peacemaker's giving his speech, trying to explain who he is and everything, man, his powers and whatnot, man. Oh yeah, you kill people and whatnot. We don't kill people. We want to keep that shit to a minimum. And so they are not paying attention at all to what he says. They're like, hey man, what do you want to get for dinner, man? What's for dinner? They are not paying attention at all, and it was pretty funny. For Amelia, for Harcourt, they literally she has been rejected by every single covert agency under the sun, man, NSA, CIA. None of them want this chick, and she meets up with, I'm assuming, her therapist or some sort of person that's meant to see if you were the right mental mindset to I guess join the NSA or whatnot, man. And he diagnosed her with toxic masculinity. And I feel like this is how any raging feminists, the men hating full-blown raging feminists that think everything is sexist and whatnot, and are professional victims, those types of just batshit insane type feminists would react if they were given a diagnosis, if they seeked therapy and they got the diagnosis of being diagnosed with toxic masculinity. It was hilarious, man. And she's like, I have a vagina. And she just goes off on this dude, man, saying, I don't have it, man. And she thinks this is all some master conspiracy by Amanda Waller, which, to be fair, I don't think you could. I think that's a reasonable explanation because, you can't put anything past that woman. But she thinks this is some grand conspiracy by Amanda Waller to get back at her for everything that happened in season 1, and then she goes on she doesn't have it, she's not this, and the therapist mentions how she's always acting like she has a rough exterior, man, this and the third. And then when she gets back in her car, she beats the shit out of her dashboard till her knuckles are bleeding. I'm like, yeah, I think she does have toxic masculinity. It was a pretty funny sequence, man. That was funny. And then we see her beat the shit out of some dudes in a bar it's fucking Kingsman. Go straight Kingsman on their asses, man. But before we get into the action sequence, before we get to the action fight, one other thing I wanted to quickly mention is, of course, going back to Peacemaker, is the overarching plot with this one man, where, as we saw in the trailers, and we see this here a little bit, so a little bit of a minor spoiler for this episode because not everything was in the trailers, it seems like this is going to feature a multiversal story where we get introduced in the episode when when Peacemaker sends Eagly out to get some flying done. We'll see like there's an alien creature as well, just chilling in one of these alternate realities, doing whatever this alien was doing. He ends up discovering this alternate reality that is basically where everything is all hunky dory with Peacemaker. His brother is still alive. His dad isn't a racist asshole, man. They are one big happy family. And so you have that whole thing on him. He's like, oh shit, this is a good life. He gets in there, man. He eventually meets up with his brother again, who is alive. And he gets to reconnect with his family, man, his dad, and his dad tells you, love you, buddy. And you get this great scene where John is like, where he finally experiences love for the first time, seemingly from probably anybody, to be fair, not just exclusively his father, man. And once again, like that was easily probably like the highlight of the episode, at least in terms of John's performance, man. Great stuff. I mentioned it before, but I say again, man, this is some of John's best work, in Peacemaker Season 2 from this episode. He is absolutely sensational here, man. And that was like easily one of the highlights of the episode for me, was that whole sequence with John. I'm very excited to see where they're going to be going on with this alternate reality Peacemaker and everything, man. And also, I love the design of the alternate Peacemaker. I love his helmet design, man. I think that design is so cool. I kind of hope it sticks around that this and the DCU speed like adopts the outfit or like the helmet or something, man, because it looks really fucking sick. But yeah, that's really cool, man. I really like that. I really like the new design of this alternate Peacemaker. Now, one other thing I want to quickly talk about, I think, and this kind of goes into my negatives with the episode as well, is the fight scenes. Now we get like a couple. We had a couple in this episode. One in the end of the episode, which I won't spoil, and then like the big one in the episode is Amelia versus these bar goers. One guy tries to catcall her at the bar, and she like goes off on him, calls him he has like tiny dick energy, just insults the dude. They come to blows, man. It's a great fight, man. All things considered, man. Like it was like she was just going straight Kingsman on that. Though I will say, I feel like it was a bit too chaotic at points. Not gonna lie, where it was a little bit hard to follow. I got where James was going for with the camera work and everything, man. And I think he overall succeeded in that. He wanted to be very chaotic. It's very much handheld and like following everything, very chaotic. But with the fast editing, man, and the quick cuts, and just the overall way it was shot with some shaky cam and everything being handheld, it does get a little hard to see, and it's a little bit confusing and disorienting. Excuse me. Like a little bit, man. Not super much where it's like a terrible, but like enough where it's a bit where it gets a little disorienting at points. So I don't know how the other fights are going to go on, are going to be shot for the rest of the season. But I definitely for that wish, I definitely kind of wish James had to like pull back a little bit, because I felt like he went a little bit too crazy with that fight in particular. The second one we see in the end of the episode, man, fantastic work. But once again, kind of sort of some similar issues, but not as much as the first one, man. But like I said, still a great fight, man. Still a great episode. I love the song that they were playing during it as well. And yeah, the soundtrack once again is great, man. Like, there's a lot of like, I'm assuming like 70s or 80s, metal songs. That is very obviously well before my time, so I do not recognize any of these bands. I'm sorry, I am merely a youngster born in the 90s that grew up in the 2000s, so excuse me if I am not well versed in 70s and 80s metal bands. But yeah, man. But yeah, the songs are great, man. Let's talk about the actual intro itself, because I haven't mentioned in this review. Overall, great intro, man. I think I did like season 1's a tiny bit more, mostly from the song. The song in season 2's one is pretty good, but I definitely think I preferred season 1's song over this intro song. My personal opinion, man. But yeah, man. I think that's about everything I got for you guys for this for the first impression for Peacemaker Season 2. Fantastic episode, man. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the series. And yeah, I'm especially excited to see what John's going to be up to, man. Because like I said, he was absolutely sensational this episode. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. Especially from what we saw of it in the next episode preview. From what we saw in the trailer, man. This episode is going to be very emotional in regards to him. And, his whole characterization, everything, especially with like him being reconnected with his family in certain ways. So I'm really excited to see where they're going to be going with that, man. And how John is going to be performing these scenes, man. Interesting what the rest of the cast is going to be up to, man. And yeah, also one other thing I gotta mention, man. Before I forgot to mention, this is like the big thing about this episode that everyone was talking about. was they rewrote history. As you guys remember, in season 1 of Peacemaker, during the next episode, at the like near the end of the final episode, back when it was still part of the DCEU, Peacemaker met up with the Justice League, man. Superman, Wonder Woman, everyone was there, but they were all obviously silhouettes because they didn't get Henry Cavill and the other guys to come back. Though we did get to see Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I think Ezra Miller was back as Flash for that as well. I'm not entirely sure about them, but I know at the very least they got Jason Momoa was back for that. Instead, man, they reshot it for this episode, rewriting history where now it's actually the Justice Gang, where Superman and Supergirl add on the team, which is interesting because, last time we see Supergirl, she was drunk, trying to getting back crypto at the end of the movie. So I'm curious to see, what's that about? If that's gonna tie into some stuff we're gonna see in Supergirl when that movie drops, and we're seeing how she was a part of the Justice Gang or working with Clark in Metropolis or whatnot, man. What that's all about, because she was in there as well as part of the Silhouettes. So that was pretty cool. I mean, you can very honestly tell it's reshot, and that the actors for Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl were shot on green screens. You can very honestly tell this was shot in post and on a green screen. But it was pretty cool to see that they did go back and straight up refilm it. I thought that was kind of cool. They went back and straight up refilmed it for Peacemaker season 2 to bring it back into the current canon. I thought that was cool. But yeah, man. Anyway, guys, overall, this episode of 9 out of 10, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Follow me if you feel like it. Links are below. And as always, back for more. See you guys next time.